Hello Twitter, hello blog. I am the Dream Team Guru, and this guy here is a Rookie Guru.
That's me.
We're yet to set up his Twitter account, so don't write to him yet. But that's the thing we're going to do immediately after recording this. This is our first video blog. It's going to be one of several during the year. We're not going to commit to doing it on a weekly basis because
We don't get paid to do it. So if you want to sponsor us to actually get paid to do it, please feel free.
but you probably have to contact me to do it because there's no way of contacting him yet. And I wouldn't trust him because he hasn't played Dream Team before. So the reason why I've invited Rookie Guru along this year is that he has heard a lot of talk around the office, around the barbecue, at his sewing circle about Dream Team, and hasn't done it before. And as a statistician of note, he decided that he'd give it a go and see if he could prove champion data wrong by having a crack at it himself. He's got his eyes on the car. He's got his eyes on the premiership. He thinks he can do it in his debut season, just like GWS can.
Yeah, now let me just follow that up with a couple of questions for you, Dream Team Guru. I want to know a couple of things so I can win. What did you look for in your very first pick?
My very first pick, I play a little bit defensively with my first pick, so I'm going to be looking at the players that every other team has. So, for instance, Brendan Goddard is always one of the most selected players, and I don't want to be there the week that everyone else has him as captain, and I don't even have him in my team. I look at the players that everyone else is going to have, so they cancel each other out. And then when I've got a bit of room left at the end of my picks, that's when I look at my unique picks and look at players that no one else will have. That can be the reason why that I might beat them on the head-to-head weeks and also come finals time.
Okay, and what else? What have you learnt from last year that you're applying to this year's game?
It's been very well recorded in Guruville that last year was my worst year. And I know why it was. It was because I focused a lot on the bye. So last year each team had 2 byes, and I was very structured in making sure that I was picking from the teams that had the multiple bye twice. So I was looking at Melbourne players, Sydney players, Freo players, because they weren't going to affect my head-to-head competition. What it meant was that I wasn't jumping on the right players at the right time, literally, and I ended up not making the finals in any of my leagues. It was a bad year. In fact, Mrs. DT Guru beat me in our head-to-head week, and that was just... it was a bad week in the household that week, and it was a bad week also because she beat me in Dream Team.
Wow. So what's changed? What's changed this year? How are you approaching the bye this year?
I'm not actually looking at it this year because I thought, well, it killed me last year by looking at it too much. What I'm going to do this year is pick the squad I want, and with the squad I want, there might be weeks. There might be the week in the bye where I actually lose because I've overbought. But the way I see it, the other 2 weeks when there are buys this year will mean that I'll probably win those weeks, even if I do take a loss.
Okay. Now, with your picks so far, are there any really unconventional picks that you've done that you don't think anyone else will have gone with?
Well, this is the thing about doing something like this. I have been tempted not to reveal everything because I don't want other people to do what I'm doing. But I have, I don't want to pick him because the Carmichael Hunt experiment hardly worked for the Gold Coast, but I'm looking very closely at Israel Folau from Greater Western Sydney. I've got the prospectus here. Let's just have a little look at what Fantasy Freako says about Folau, if anything. Because he's a forward in a bad team. The ball's not going to go down there much anyway. He'll score better than Carmichael, but I think most fantasy coaches can live without him. He's put the picture of the cash cow next to him, so he could go up in value. The way I see it is Greater Western Sydney need him to play because they need people to go to their games. So he's guaranteed to get 15 to 20 games for the season. As a backup, I could probably do worse.
Okay. Now, just a tip for the rookies out there, please. What is the trap for young players to watch out for this year?
For first year players, the trap is overcommitting in your salary cap to just to the premium players. So you might be able to afford 6 of the best players, but then you have to buy 30 odd players that are really bad quality. What you want to do is also look for the bargain picks. So players that might have been injured last year that are coming out of injury, that have been training the house down. You might be able to see them on the news or on some of the other internet pages where they've actually had improved years, at least on the off-season. Pick some of those players that are cheap in value. I'd also, as I said, look at the unique picks. Try to pick players that no one else has got on their radar, because one or two of those can be the difference between making the 8 and winning the premiership. And finally, advice to first-year players is talk to people. A lot of people around your office, in your friendship group, have probably played before, and they've all got different types of advice. Ignore the good advice and take the bad advice, and that way, at least, I'll be able to beat you.
Okay, great. Well, I won't pay any attention to any of that. Thank you, Guru.
Now, today was the day the rookie guru here actually picked his first squad. We took probably about 2 hours to have a look at it in total, I reckon.
Yep, I'd say so.
Why don't you give us some thoughts on how you picked your squad and if you enjoyed it, how you found the experience?
Yeah, a couple of things that I was sort of keeping in mind was not overcommitting in one team for the problem of the bye, and trying to find the good players in the low-ranked teams. So just from a beginner's point of view, just not wanting to overcommit in any one area. Also looking for players that are a bit more versatile. They could play different positions. I mean, it all ran pretty smooth. I'll be interested to see how it actually plays out in the first game.
Did you find at all that you were picking with your heart at all, or were you going on any hunches? Or were you going particularly on the stats or the price of the player?
Yeah, I was looking for players who'd played every game last year. That was a big thing for me. But also, if they had an interesting name, I will admit I was a little bit swayed towards them.
I think you might be referring to Steel Sidebottom in particular.
That is pretty much the best name in the world.
Saying that, he actually won an award last year, I think, for internationally the best name in sport. But for you people there looking for a bargain pick and on name alone, there's a player from the West Coast that I quite like. He's on the rookie list, so he might not get much of a go. In fact, the Fantasy Freako says the better the Eagles go, the less likely he is to debut. But how do you like the name Callum Papertalk?
That's awesome.
I mean, obviously when I signed up to this thing, Dream Team Guru was available. I doubt Callum Papertalk was, because you can't make up names like that. You can't.
Don't try. Just don't try.
But if you're looking for a name, if purely on name alone, and one that's not rude, looking at you, Dean Cox, looking at you, Brad Dick, pick Callum Papertalk. Cool. Well, I've got our first made-up Twitter question for our video blog, which came from Rookie_Guru. He asked, "How do you feel about me copy and pasting your entire squad?"
Looking forward to hearing the answer to that.
Well, let's just say there's a few surprises coming ahead, and we might still clear the team and do it all over again. But if you do have any serious or non-serious questions for this video blog, we'd like to hear them. We'll be doing this again, and as I said at the top of this, we'll do it quite regularly without overcommitting. Love to hear your thoughts, and any feedback would be eager to receive as well. So take it easy, and good luck in Fantasyland.
What he said.